If you want to get whatever you want in life, you don't need more hustle. You don't need more luck. You need one skill, one mindset shift. Learn the art of asking. Not just asking for help, not begging, not wishing. I mean asking with clarity, with intention, with vision, and most of all, with trust. Because here's the truth most people miss. The biggest reason people don't have what they want is not because the world is unfair. It's because they never asked for it clearly. They didn't write it. They didn't speak it. They didn't declare it. And if they did, they mumbled it like it didn't matter. Let me ask you, how can the world deliver what you won't even define? You see, the people who create extraordinary lives, they don't get there by accident. They know what they want. They ask for it. They align their actions with it, and they don't stop. They don't walk to the ocean of opportunity with a teaspoon. They bring a bucket, or a truck, or a pipeline. Success is not in short supply. It's not reserved for the elite. It's not rationed. It's responsive. It responds to clarity. It responds to energy. It responds to action. So here's the key. Ask like it matters. Because it does. What you ask for is what you become. And your life will start moving in the direction of your questions. When you ask for something, you're not just speaking into thin air. You're triggering a chain reaction. The moment you ask, your brain starts working. Your subconscious starts scanning. The world begins aligning in subtle, invisible ways. But there's a trap. Most people ask, and then immediately doubt. They ask and then wait, and wait, and wait. That's not asking, that's begging. And the energy of begging repels what you're trying to attract. Asking isn't about control, it's about trust. You ask, you observe, you act when the signal appears. Because here's how it works. When you ask clearly, your brain begins filtering reality. You start to notice things you've never noticed before. People, books, opportunities, conversations, ideas. They were always there. You just weren't tuned in. Your mind, your inner observer, it starts searching for alignment between your actions and your vision. That's why asking is the beginning of becoming. If you ask to build a business, you'll start acting like someone who builds. If you ask for peace, you'll start noticing what brings chaos. If you ask for wealth, you'll begin identifying what's draining your time and energy. The brain wants congruence. It wants your actions to match your vision. That's why asking is not just speaking. It's seeing. It's imagining. It's filtering your world through the lens of what you want, not what you fear. Most people spend their entire lives focused on what they don't want. And they wonder why they keep getting more of it. The shift is simple. Ask for what you do want, and then pay attention. Vague goals create vague results. Clear asking creates magnetic momentum. Success isn't a wish, it's a direction. And the clearer you define that direction, the faster your brain, your behavior, and your reality align. So don't just say, I want more money. Say, I want $10,000 per month doing something that lights me up. Don't just say, I want freedom. Say, I want to wake up without an alarm clock and have the power to choose what I do with my day. Specific goals pull you forward. They act like magnets. Your attention sharpens, your energy organizes, and your decisions become easier. That's the art of asking with intelligence. Details create momentum. Clarity creates confidence. But there's a second ingredient. Faith. Not religious faith, but childlike belief. The kind that says, if I can imagine it, I can create it. Adults are trained to be skeptical, to protect themselves from disappointment. But that skepticism kills creativity. It kills possibility. You need both. Plan like an adult. Believe like a child. Ask clearly. Believe fully. Then observe and act. You'll start seeing signs, unexpected opportunities, random conversations, Books, videos, messages, even failures, all pointing in the direction of your ask. That's not magic. That's pattern recognition. That's alignment. Remember, if you're not asking clearly, you're drifting. But if you're asking with vision, you're leading your life instead of reacting to it. And people follow those who know where they're going. So define it, describe it, believe it, and move. Sometimes the real problem isn't that we don't know what to ask for. It's that deep down, we don't believe we deserve it. And that belief? It sabotages everything. It makes you play small. It makes you hesitate. It makes you reject opportunities before they even arrive. You tell yourself, I don't need that much. I'll just be grateful for what I have. It's selfish to ask for more. But listen, you're not greedy for wanting more. You're responsible. Because you can only give from overflow. You can't help others if you're drowning. You can't inspire if you're depleted. You can't serve at your highest level if you're playing small. So asking is not selfish. It's strategic. And the most successful people? They've made peace with wanting more because they see it as part of their purpose. They don't ask from a place of guilt. They ask from a place of alignment. They know the more they grow, the more they can give. The more they receive, the more impact they can create. So remove the guilt, upgrade your beliefs, and ask like someone who knows they're meant for more. Start with this. I ask not because I'm greedy. I ask because I'm here to serve. That belief alone will unlock doors you've been afraid to knock on. There's a part of you that watches everything. It's quiet. It's neutral. But it's powerful. That's your inner observer. And the moment you ask for something, really ask, your observer goes to work. It starts filtering reality. It scans for opportunities. It aligns your behavior with what you're asking for, whether you realize it or not. But here's the secret. Your observer doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you focus on. So if you ask for sunlight, but obsess over the clouds, you're not asking for sun. You're reinforcing the storm. If you ask for success, but constantly look for signs of failure, you're training your mind to expect disappointment. But when you ask and then trust, when you stop chasing and start watching, your observer shifts. It begins to highlight everything that matches your vision. That's when ideas come. That's when people show up. That's when you see coincidences that aren't coincidences at all. It's not magic. It's mechanism. Your brain literally tries to make your life match your most dominant images. And that means asking isn't just about clarity. Asking is about vision, not how do I get rid of this, but what do I want to move toward? Not how do I stop the rain, but what will I do when the sun shines? Your observer is listening. Feed it with vision, fuel it with trust, and it will quietly reprogram your world. After you ask, and after your observer starts to align your focus, there's one thing left to do. Move. Not just any movement, but action that's born from alignment. You don't force. You don't chase. You follow the flow of what starts appearing. That email you feel drawn to open. That call you suddenly feel brave enough to make. That idea you wrote down last week, now screaming for attention. That's the response. That's life saying, I heard you. Here's your invitation. See, asking doesn't always get you the final result immediately, but it does give you the next breadcrumb, and that breadcrumb is sacred. Follow it. Act on it. Because action is how you say yes to the life you asked for. The world doesn't hand you everything at once. It gives you signals, clues, tiny nudges that only make sense in hindsight. But if you wait for certainty, you'll miss the door while it's still open. People think asking is passive. It's not. Asking is the spark, but action is the flame, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be true, aligned, rooted, and done with the quiet confidence that what you asked for is already on its way. You don't get what you ask for. You get what you're ready to receive. That's why it's not just about asking, It's about becoming the version of you who can carry what you asked for. And this is where most people stop. They think asking once is enough. They think not seeing results is proof it didn't work. But John D. Rockefeller didn't build an empire overnight. He asked. He aligned. And then he waited with strategic patience. He saw wealth not as a wish, but as a natural outcome of becoming the person worthy of it. He studied. He watched. He listened. He acted when no one was looking. He trusted that what he wanted was already on its way, as long as he continued. To meet it halfway, you have to become someone who doesn't beg the universe to answer, but expects it to. Because your observer is always learning from you. If you keep doubting, it will show you more reasons to doubt. But if you keep trusting, it starts opening doors that others don't even see. Faith isn't believing something will happen. Faith is living like it already has. Ask, trust, become.
Repeat. Because the person who receives everything they want isn't lucky. They're prepared. So if you really want to get whatever you want, become someone who knows how to ask with vision, observe with presence, act with alignment, and
wait with unshakable belief. That's how the wealthy live. That's how the fulfilled feel. That's how you create what you were meant to have.